Well, it is April 1st, 2023. We slid back into the same blind that we hunted last year. About the same conditions as it was last year. Windy, rain yesterday, but we're chilling out, so we're going to see what we see. We're in a little bitty secluded pocket in a cornfield back here, way back in the woods, kind of out of the wind. That's what we're going for this morning. Hopefully everything will work out. Maybe we'll see some birds. I don't know. There are a lot of birds right around here, but got my big 13-year-old with me. Jerzi's going after her second turkey with a crossbow, so I tried to talk her into taking the gun. Nope. So we'll see what happens. Well, we got a bird. He's got one over the decoys on one of these big ridges. He gobbled 3 or 4 times. But with this wind, it is so hard to hear. But hopefully, we're the only field. This is the only secluded area in this field. It opens up, it goes out, so all the birds, they like to jump back and forth on these ridges right here. So we're going to hopefully get lucky and get one out in this field. If we get one out in the field, I think we've got a good chance of killing him. It's like a 5-acre secluded field. It wraps around and comes all the way back up to right here. It's a little bit narrow pinch, so. Well, we had this big gobbler come out over here, and he was coming right at us. I thought we were in the ball game, but I think he was not the dominant bird around here. I think he just had his butt beat or something, because he's seen the decoys and he just kind of skirted around them. But we saw a hen earlier go across, and then that long beard. But we know we're in the ball game. We're in a good spot, so we'll sit here and wait. We got to like 10 o'clock, so we got Easter dinner today. big gobbler town, 40 mile an hour winds, man. Bird came out, made one call at him, and I see him strut, and then he just come on a dead walk. Once he seen the decoys, it was pretty much over with for him. But he seen the decoys, he just started strutting, and he just come on a dead run. And then he got within 50 yards or 80 yards, and he just strutted really, really slow. But then his buddies came in. Thought they'd help him out some, but been a good day. It's second weekend of youth season here in Illinois. We went for broke. We only got one day to go, so we came back to the muddy that we hunted out of last year, and just got lucky and sat, and we heard a bird early, but it couldn't never, the wind was blowing 40 or 50 mile an hour. So we thought we'd set it out. We're in a little bitty low spot here. This wind does not hit anything right here. We had a bird come out, and I made a call, and he came all the way across the field and then brought two of his buddies with him. Just a beautiful 2-year-old bird. She opted to go with the 10-point today. Made a heck of a shot. He didn't go about 2 feet. Started flopping, so pretty proud. Big old long beard. Bow hunter die.
Bow hunter die.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how you get a turkey hunt done. Jerzi sitting there with her dad. That big Tom comes in, works over that decoy, and I'll tell you what, I'm sitting there watching that. I had no idea those other two birds were going to run in. What a great hunt. Next up, we're going to jump in with Tyler, where he's working on his second bird in Texas.
Well, that Tom is still out there, just full strut, going back and forth. Awesome. And there's at least 2, maybe 3 other Toms out there with him in the field. Not with him, but just kind of out there as well. But I got super close here, guys. This was such like a just last second experiment. And got about 70 yards away from one of the Toms. And I think he saw me when I was putting out the decoy, because he didn't come over there. I think if he'd have just seen it or heard me calling and then seen it, I think he would have come over here. But anyways, good news is I know where those birds are going, and I'm gonna keep watching them until it gets dark, and then as soon as they go to roost, I'm gonna get out there into that field. There's a little point of like brush and cactus that kind of comes out into the field, and it's like 30 yards away from where that bird is strutting right now. So plan is to set the decoys up there in the morning and get in super early, get still, hang out in that brush, bring my thermocell because these gnats are driving me insane, and then just see what happens. Almost got a pig tonight too. I was super close on that. I tried to stop him, but he wouldn't stop it. Hey guys, good morning. I'm tucked back into my little makeshift blind here. I'm just right up against the side of a mesquite, and I've got some 3D camo netting that I'm using my tripod, and just some of this tree here to kind of, just break up my outline a little bit more. I've got probably, 15 or 20 minutes until these birds are probably going to be coming down out of the roost. I know at least, I saw for sure like 3 birds go up into a couple of roost trees. So there's 2 that are off kind of to my right over here. And then there's one that's like almost directly across the field that I saw fly up last night. So got the crossbow in hand. I think this is going to work. This is a pretty good setup for not being in a pop-up blind. I just gotta stay still. Try not to call too much, and hope one of these birds cooperates.
guys, so after the shot on that bird, the arrow comes out of that crossbow so fast, and even with the Luminok, it's hard to see exactly where you hit just because it's moving so quick and zipped right through that bird. But I knew it was a pretty good shot, and he kind of took off to the right, and I expected him to just lay down and die right there in the field. But what you don't see on camera is he actually hops up and kind of takes off to the right. And the direction he was heading, I'm familiar with that area of the property. It gets insanely thick, just nothing but thorns and cactus and just wall-to-wall brush. And then more importantly, it runs over to a fence line with a neighbor that I've never met before and don't have permission to get onto that property. So after the shot, I booked it out of that blind and chased that bird down, and thankfully he laid down and died probably about 10 yards away from the fence line. So I was able to recover him. But you won't see any video of that, unfortunately, because I was focused on just recovering my turkey, and the camera was more or less secondary in my mind at that point in time. So here's the recovery.
Well, hey guys, as you can see here, I got my bird all recovered and bred out to the field. This hunt was awesome this afternoon. Didn't see a lot of birds, but I knew it was just a matter of time before something showed up. I had one hen kind of come through, and then I did a little bit of calling, and I looked over, and sure enough, this guy was just heading over here with a purpose. So I thought he was gonna run just straight into the decoys at first, but he ended up kind of doing a circle around me, kind of kept on just looking this way just a little bit. So I just had a feeling he was eventually gonna make his way over, and sure enough, he did. So gave me a great opportunity, and I was thankful to make it count with the crossbow, which is a first for me. I've never killed anything with a crossbow, and I can tell you it's a lot of fun. So this hunt was cool just because I was trying new things in a few different ways. So obviously the crossbow being one, but I also was using the kind of little makeshift blind and trying to get out after them without using a big pop-up blind and all that. So it worked out great. It was a lot of fun. I learned a few things along the way. Got busted a couple times last weekend when I was out here, but you kind of learn some new techniques, and eventually you figure it out. So I'm going to call it good for this spring. This is my second bird of the year, and while I can technically shoot 2 more, I'm going to let this population just stay as awesome as it is already, and hopefully if Harlan will allow me, I'll come back next spring, and there will be a lot of birds here for me to chase next year. So can't thank you guys enough for watching. I'm going to start thinking about off-season deer prep after this, and as always, guys, bow hunt or die.
Of all of our teammates, this year, Tyler is wearing the birds out. Usually it's Kurt who's wearing these birds out. This year, Kurt's nowhere to be found. This year, Tyler is working it big time. Decides to set up back in his spot in Texas, pulls in another great bird, shoots it, great recovery. His hunt is going way better than any of my turkey hunts. I've gone over 7 times turkey hunting this year, and I've managed to not put a bird down yet. I guess every once in a while, sometimes the luck's on your side, sometimes it's not. Next up, let's ask the expert. This time we're switching gears over to PJ Riley, where it seems like this question comes up quite a bit. We've got a question here from Austin Carter, and he says, any tips for those who are shooting with glasses? We're going to hand this over to PJ to see if he has any tips, because both him and I wear glasses.
All right, Justin and Todd, mainly Todd on this one. We have a bow hunter who is asking if we have any tips for bow hunters who shoot with glasses on. Todd, obviously you and I have to deal with that. Now, he doesn't identify what problem he may be experiencing. He just says any tips for folks shooting with glasses on. So I'm going to make a couple assumptions here, because I know one of the things that I always get asked about is, how do I not see the bridge of my glasses when I'm looking through my peep sight? And so what I can tell you is that I don't. This never it never gets in the way of my sight picture. And what I see a lot of folks doing, the reason that I know that it doesn't is because my head is turned more this way. So as soon as I turn my head this way, I am moving this out of my sight picture. However, if I was somebody who aimed through the peep sight, with a hard face turn, this is in my sight picture, and this is a problem. So if that's the issue you're dealing with, just try turning your head a little bit at full draw, and so that your eye is more in line with your peep sight, and that should take that bridge out. Now, another common issue folks have is that they just don't have a clear sight picture. Maybe their pins are starbursting, or maybe their target isn't quite clear. So for bow hunters, there is a device called a verifier. Verifier is a lens that you put in the peep sight. What I don't want to see with bow hunters is I don't like to see folks put lenses into the scope housing for bow hunting, because those lenses, they fog, they attract, you'll have water beating up on it. It just causes more problems. Bow hunters, we're out in all kind of conditions. Don't like to see lenses in here. So you would go with just a verifier, which is designed to clear up your pins. As you're taking aim, your pin may be starbursting. They're designed to take that out. So it's oftentimes difficult to find the right verifier that works with prescription glasses. You can imagine you're already looking through your glasses. Now you're adding another piece of glass. And so all of that has to work together to get a clear sight picture. So you may have to play with several different lenses, your peep size as well. As you shrink that peep size, things tend to come more in focus. Of course, we're bow hunters. When you shrink that peep size, it also gets darker. Lots of issues to work through there. But if it's clarity is your problem, start playing with verifiers and aperture sizes in your peep sight.
I'm pretty much going to echo everything that PJ said. You know what? I've worn glasses my entire life, and it can be tricky. I mean, obviously, he's given you a few tips, that I think are pretty crucial. One, using the verifier if you need it for better clarity of your sight. Two, making sure that when you are at full draw that, you're not sitting like this. You're really cranking that neck over like this, keeping as much of your lens in focus with your peep and in your sight. And I'll tell you what, I have had problems with that where sometimes I'm not getting my neck over enough, and then you start seeing the bridge or this part of your glasses, and it's not good. So those are two great suggestions. Of course, you can always mess around with different types of glasses like I've had. Some, are narrower and bigger than others. I mean, that obviously can make a difference as well. But I guess for us glasses wearer, the only other option is what? Go get LASIK or to wear contacts. And I got to tell you, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Justin puts his contacts in all the time. Myself, I stick those things in my eyes at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like, I'd rather just stick with my glasses. So PJ, thanks for those tips. Hopefully that gives you some suggestions there, Austin, on how to shoot better wearing glasses. Next up, let's jump into the trophy photos. Obviously, there's a lot more people shooting birds than me and Justin this year. So let's go ahead and pick this week's lucky winner. Austin Caldwell, Chase Cassidy, David Giddings, Derek Brown, Seth Carlson, and Tucker Loesch. Well, congratulations, David. We're picking you for the lucky winner of the Trophy Turkey Contest for this week. I mean, you can see your blind, you got the tail fan all spread out looking good. We can see your bow, good looking bird. So congratulations, get us your information and we will get a prize pack sent out to you. Guys, as far as what's coming up next, I am gonna finally make it to my property here, hopefully this week, and I'm gonna be able to tune you in to some property updates. We've been working hard on that piece to see if I can develop, at least for me, the ultimate hunting property. So I want to give you some updates on that kill plot that we did, the clear cut, got a beautiful string bank project that I'm working on, the big clear cut that I was freaking out about. All those trees are gone, the loggers came in, and we've already started planting thousands of seedlings. So definitely we'll have a big update on my property, so stay tuned. I think there's some pretty cool things that I can bring you up to date on, and hopefully you can implement some of these things on your own personal hunting properties as well. So until next time, bow hunt or die. Well, that's how you get a turkey hunt done. You know what? Here, dang it. I'll tell you what, these turkey hunt, take 3, sorry. I'll tell you what, Jerzi hunt, oh my gosh, Jerzi hunt. Take 4, you ready?